Hello everyone, I'm Mike D'Angelo with That's Entertainment, and this is my reaction video to Nintendo's 2010 E3 conference. In 2008, Nintendo had a notoriously bad E3 conference. They showed almost nothing for the hardcore crowd, everything was casual fare. It just really didn't look very good for them. So naturally, they stepped it up last year, and this year they might have even taken the cake. I personally think that Nintendo is probably the best in show so far of the big three. For 2010's E3 conference, and I will explain to you why. They rolled out with the big guns right away and said, here's Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. It looks just like any other Zelda. There didn't seem like there was going to be anything too spectacular about it. The graphics right now don't even look all that impressive. It kind of looks like a twist between Twilight Princess and Wind Waker, because it almost seems like there's like a watercolor, cel-shaded look to it. Either way, the look of the game didn't denote the gameplay, and it definitely has changed. There were some problems with the presentation. I felt bad for Miyamoto because it was really the only thing that he did at the conference, and they had some reception problems with the game. And I understand it wasn't his fault, and I'm positive that the game is going to end up being 100 times more responsive than what we saw. That was the low point of Nintendo's E3 2010 conference. It just kept on picking up speed after that. There was a slight hiccup when they showed something for the casual crowd. They showed Wii Party, which is kind of like Mario Party, except without the Nintendo mascot. It was using Mii's instead. And you could definitely tell that it was supposed to bridge the gap between casual and regular gamers. But then right after that, they got into something else that hardcore gamers might appreciate, Mario Sports Mix, which seems like, you know, it's... Imagine all the stuff that Mario never got to and then roll it all up into one game. So you have your volleyball, basketball, and I know he's done 3-on-3 hoops in other games, but it just didn't really cut it the way that this did. Hockey. So there's a lot of variety here. It looks like it's going to get a lot of attention when it does come out. After that, I know that this wasn't really their game. It wasn't a first-party game, but Disney Epic Mickey was shown. The only reason that I'm showing it here is I don't think that the company that's developing Disney Epic Mickey is going to have enough of their own conference to really highlight anything. So here's just a few video snippets of... this actually isn't even from their conference. This was other footage that I found. And the game actually looks to be pretty fantastic. Right now it's exclusive to the Wii, so hopefully Nintendo can find use in that. After that, they showed Golden Sun Dark Dawn, which is going to be on the DS. The only thing that kind of weirded me out from the game was it didn't seem like they used any of the kinesis from the original games. I didn't really see too much of that. It seemed like they did a few things, but it didn't grasp me the way I thought that Golden Sun would. It still looks interesting. I'm still going to look into it, but it's a DS game. You're probably never even going to see me review it anyway. Right after Golden Sun, they showed GoldenEye, which looks like it's not going to be a remake. It might be a reimagination of the movie, so it's not going to retread the same game material. Pierce Brosnan's out, Daniel Craig is in. It looks like there's plenty of game modes. It looks like it's going to have online. It looks fantastic, like you would expect a GoldenEye game to be. Nintendo really took out all the stops for this conference, so they hit up with a whole bunch of other really interesting titles after this, including Kirby Epic Yarn, which looks very kiddie, admittedly, but at the same time, there's just something about it that seems like it's breaking ground in platforming. I don't really know how to put it. You have to watch the footage to truly understand. After that, they showed new footage of Metroid Other M. The game is still looking great. It's going to be out in 2 months. I really can't wait for that one. Nothing too new, but they did show what I thought was interesting, some first-person views of the game, which I didn't even know were in the game. Right after that, they displayed Donkey Kong Country Returns, in the same way that the old Donkey Kong Country games looked, and Retro is helming this one. This was the game that they were going to be taking over after Metroid Prime trilogy. It seems like the next logical step after Donkey Kong Country 3. I think it looks fantastic. And then of course right after that, they went into arguably the most exciting point in the presentation. They showcased the 3DS. And it's difficult to really see what the Nintendo 3DS is going to be all about, because you can't physically see the 3D effects unless you're in person. Even though I have my faith in Nintendo, there's just something about the 3DS that I'm a little wary about. It might be that whole Virtual Boy incident years back. And then, it wouldn't have been right to show the hardware without a game to go with it, and they brought back another Nintendo favorite. They showcased Kid Icarus Uprising, which it looks fantastic. Judging from what we saw, the graphics look like they might be halfway in between DS and PSP, maybe even a little slightly higher than PSP. And then there were plenty of other things after the show that pointed to 3DS having a lot of third-party support. It looks like there's going to be some Metal Gear title, a Resident Evil title. It's just plenty of stuff going on for Nintendo. Nintendo really had a great show, and I was personally surprised that they were able to do this much. I was kind of expecting a weak performance for Nintendo after a strong performance last year. They really, like I said before, I think that they won this E3 as far as the big three competitors go. I'm going to really quick get to the Sony conference and try and get that up before the end of the night, and then I'll go to the other conferences like EA, Ubisoft, and I'll get that up to you tomorrow. So I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Peace.